We live in a society where social grace distinguishes the truly refined from the merely pretentious, yet many unknowingly cross invisible boundaries that separate elegant conversation from awkward interrogation. The sophisticated individual understands that certain questions, regardless of innocent intentions, can create lasting damage to relationships and reputations within refined social circles. Today's exploration will reveal 10 conversational landmines that sophisticated individuals instinctively avoid, and by the end of this discussion, you'll possess the tools to navigate even the most delicate social situations with unshakable confidence. These insights will protect you from embarrassing social missteps while elevating your communication skills to levels that distinguish you among your peers. The art of refined conversation isn't merely about what we say, but crucially about what we choose not to ask, understanding that discretion often speaks louder than curiosity. These questions, though seemingly innocent, can instantly transform a pleasant encounter into an uncomfortable ordeal that leaves everyone involved wishing they were elsewhere. Social etiquette has evolved considerably over recent decades, influenced by changing cultural values and increased awareness of personal boundaries. Yet certain inquiries remain as inappropriate today as they were generations ago, continuing to cause discomfort and embarrassment in social settings. The difference between curious conversation and intrusive questioning often lies in understanding these subtle yet significant boundaries that separate thoughtful inquiry from inappropriate investigation. First, let's examine the financial inquiry that catches people off guard. Asking someone about the cost of their possessions creates immediate tension that sophisticated individuals recognize and avoid. Whether the item in question is a designer handbag worth several $1,000s, luxury vehicle costing tens of thousands, or expensive hobby requiring significant monthly investment. This question forces recipients into uncomfortable positions where they must either reveal private financial information or deflect awkwardly. The psychology behind such questions often reveals more about the asker than the recipient, suggesting either financial insecurity or inappropriate curiosity. High society functions on the principle that personal finances remain private territory, and discussing money in casual social settings represents a significant breach of etiquette. The elegant response when faced with such inquiry involves graceful deflection without providing specific details. A simple statement like, "It was exactly what I needed," maintains dignity while redirecting conversation away from monetary specifics. The truly refined understand that personal finances remain private territory, regardless of how curiosity might tempt us to explore others' spending habits. Moving forward, we encounter the deeply personal question about family planning that has no place in polite society. Inquiring about someone's reproductive timeline assumes an intimacy that rarely exists and opens discussions about topics that may involve profound personal struggles. The decision to have children, when to have them, or whether to have them at all, represents one of life's most personal choices, influenced by countless factors unknown to casual acquaintances. Such questions can inadvertently cause genuine emotional pain to those experiencing fertility challenges, pregnancy loss, or relationship difficulties. The cultural assumption underlying these inquiries suggests that reproduction represents a universal goal everyone should pursue according to predictable timelines. The appropriate response when confronted with this overreach involves polite but firm boundary setting. Phrases like, "That's quite personal," or "We're focused on other priorities right now," communicate boundaries without elaborate explanation. Sophisticated individuals recognize that family planning discussions belong exclusively between intimate partners and their chosen confidants. Now let's address the relationship status interrogation that assumes being single requires explanation or justification. This question implies that romantic partnership represents the default state of human existence, requiring defense when absent. The assumption underlying such inquiries suggests that single individuals must account for their relationship status as though it were a deficiency requiring correction. Modern society increasingly recognizes that fulfillment comes through various paths, and romantic partnership represents just one option among many valid life choices. The graceful response to such questioning involves reframing conversation toward positive aspects of one's current life situation. Statements like, "I'm enjoying this chapter of my life," or "I'm focused on personal growth right now," demonstrate confidence without defensive justification. Truly elegant individuals celebrate others' life choices rather than questioning them, understanding that happiness manifests differently for different people. Subscribe now and activate notifications to ensure you never miss insights that could transform your social interactions forever. Click subscribe to join our community of individuals committed to elevating their social intelligence and communication skills. Let's continue with the pregnancy assumption that represents one of society's most problematic conversational missteps. This inquiry combines inappropriate personal speculation with potential for causing genuine emotional distress. Physical appearances can be misleading for countless reasons, from medical conditions to medication side effects, making such assumptions particularly dangerous territory. The question becomes exponentially more problematic when directed towards someone experiencing pregnancy loss or fertility struggles. The assumption underlying this question suggests that other people's bodies are appropriate subjects for public commentary and speculation. When someone poses this question to you, the most effective response combines brevity with subtle education about appropriate boundaries. Simple responses like, "That's not something I discuss," or "Interesting assumption," communicate displeasure without extensive explanation. The sophisticated approach involves recognizing that pregnancy announcements belong exclusively to the individuals involved, shared when and how they choose. Age inquiries represent another category of questioning that refined individuals instinctively avoid. These questions reduce complex, accomplished individuals to a single numerical value, implying that age somehow defines capability, relevance, or worth. The underlying assumption suggests that knowing someone's age provides meaningful information about their character or achievements. Modern social awareness recognizes that age-related questions often carry implicit bias and can make recipients uncomfortable regardless of their actual age. The elegant response to age inquiries involves deflection that maintains personal dignity while subtly highlighting the question's inappropriateness. Responses like, "Age is just a number," or "I prefer to focus on experiences rather than years," demonstrate sophistication without defensive behavior. Truly refined conversation focuses on individuals' interests, accomplishments, and perspectives rather than demographic details. Family relationship inquiries delve into territory that may involve complex emotional dynamics invisible to outside observers. Asking why someone doesn't communicate with specific family members assumes that such relationships should follow predictable patterns. Family situations often involve years of complicated history, personal boundaries, or even safety considerations that shouldn't require public justification. Such inquiries can force individuals to relive traumatic experiences or explain painful decisions that protect their mental health. The sophisticated response to such questioning involves firm boundary establishment without detailed explanation. Phrases like, "Family situations can be complicated," or "That's quite personal," communicate that the topic is off limits. Refined individuals understand that family dynamics represent private territory that doesn't require public scrutiny or justification. Income discussions represent perhaps the most obviously inappropriate financial inquiry, yet somehow persist in various social contexts. These questions violate fundamental privacy boundaries while potentially creating uncomfortable power dynamics between individuals. Salary information affects relationships in unpredictable ways, creates unwanted comparison opportunities, and can lead to jealousy or resentment. The motivation behind income inquiries often reveals personal insecurity or inappropriate curiosity about professional boundaries. Financial privacy represents one of the cornerstones of civilized society, allowing individuals to interact based on personal character rather than economic status. The appropriate response to income inquiries involves polite but definitive deflection that doesn't invite further probing. Statements like, "I'm comfortable with my situation," or "That's quite personal," establish boundaries without creating additional awkwardness. Sophisticated individuals recognize that financial privacy represents a cornerstone of appropriate social interaction. Authentication questions about personal possessions demonstrate a fundamental lack of social grace and respect for others' choices. Inquiring whether someone's jewelry, accessories, or other items are real implies skepticism about their honesty and judgment. Such questions suggest that the questioner believes they possess the right to verify and judge others' purchasing decisions. The underlying assumption reveals a preoccupation with monetary value over personal satisfaction or aesthetic appreciation. These inquiries can be particularly problematic when directed toward items that hold emotional significance or family history. The confident response to authentication inquiries involves owning your choices regardless of their monetary value. Simple statements like, "I love it," or "It suits me perfectly," demonstrate self-assurance without engaging in defensive justification. Truly elegant individuals complement others' style choices rather than questioning their authenticity or value. Food policing represents a particularly modern form of social overreach that sophisticated individuals carefully avoid. Questioning someone's dietary choices during meals creates immediate discomfort and implies judgment about personal decisions. These questions often disguise themselves as health concern, but actually represent attempts to control or criticize others' autonomy. Food choices involve complex personal considerations, including medical conditions, dietary restrictions, and cultural preferences. The assumption underlying food policing suggests that others' meal choices require external validation or approval. Such questions can be particularly problematic for individuals dealing with eating disorders or specific nutritional requirements. The appropriate response to food policing involves confident ownership of your choices without extensive justification. Phrases like, "I'm enjoying this," or "This is exactly what I wanted," demonstrate self-assurance while discouraging further commentary. Refined individuals understand that personal food choices belong exclusively to the individual making them. Finally, we address the productivity interrogation that questions how people spend their time, particularly those with non-traditional schedules. These inquiries imply that certain types of work or life arrangements require justification to outside observers. The underlying assumption suggests that productivity must be visible and quantifiable to possess value. Such questions often target stay-at-home parents, freelancers, or anyone with unconventional schedules. The question reveals a narrow understanding of productivity and value creation in modern society. Modern society increasingly recognizes that valuable contributions include emotional labor, creative work, and community building. The sophisticated response involves highlighting positive aspects of your situation without defensive explanation. Statements like, "I'm engaged in several meaningful projects," or "I'm pursuing work that fulfills me," demonstrate confidence without detailed justification. These responses avoid defensiveness while subtly educating questioners about the inappropriate nature of their inquiry. Understanding these conversational boundaries transforms social interactions from potential minefields into opportunities for genuine connection and mutual respect. The truly sophisticated individual recognizes that curiosity must be balanced with respect for others' privacy and autonomy, creating environments where meaningful dialogue can flourish. These guidelines aren't about creating rigid social rules, but rather about fostering environments where everyone feels comfortable, respected, and valued for their authentic contributions to conversation. When we avoid these problematic questions, we create space for more meaningful conversations that honor others' dignity, while building genuine relationships based on mutual understanding and respect. Remember that elegant communication involves not just what we say, but what we choose not to ask, demonstrating respect for the complex individuals we encounter in our daily social interactions. The goal isn't perfection in every conversation, but rather thoughtful consideration of how our words affect others and contribute to positive social environments where everyone can thrive. Social grace develops through consistent practice, heightened awareness, and genuine concern for others' comfort and well-being in our shared social experiences. Modern etiquette emphasizes emotional intelligence, cultural sensitivity, and respect for individual autonomy as cornerstones of sophisticated communication. These conversational guidelines serve as foundation stones for building lasting relationships with people who appreciate thoughtful communication, mutual respect, and genuine interest in others' well-being. Mastering these principles will distinguish you as someone who understands the delicate art of refined social interaction and values others' comfort above personal curiosity. Click subscribe right now to continue developing your social intelligence and join thousands of others committed to refined communication that elevates every interaction. Hit that notification bell to ensure you never miss content that could elevate your social skills and transform your personal interactions in ways that create lasting positive impressions. These insights represent just the beginning of a journey toward more sophisticated, respectful, and effective communication in all areas of life, from professional networking to intimate personal relationships.